Okay, we're going to continue on today in the Apocrypha. This is the Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 19. To a son or a wife, to a brother or a friend, do not give power over yourself as long as you live, and do not give your money to someone else, so that you may not change your mind and have to ask for it. As long as you live and have breath in your body, do not sell yourself to anyone. For it is better that your children should ask from you than that you should look to the clean hands of your sons. In all that you do, retain control, so that you will not put any strain upon your reputation. When the days of your life reach their end, at the time of your death, distribute your property, fodder and a stick, and loads for an ass, bread and discipline, and work for a servant. Put your slave to work, and you will have rest. Leave his hands idle, and he will seek his liberty. The yoke and the strap will bend his neck, and the racks and the tortures are for a servant who is a wrongdoer. Put him to work so that he will not be idle. For idleness teaches much evil. Set him such work as is suited to him. And if he does not obey, load him with fetters. But do not be overbearing to anybody. And do not do anything without consideration. If you have a servant, regard him as yourself, because you have bought him with blood. If you have a servant, treat him like a brother, and you will need him as you do your own life. If you ill-treat him and he leaves and runs away, where will you look for him? Vain and delusive are the hopes of a man of no understanding, and dreams gives wings to fools. Like a man who catches a shadow and chases the wind. If the man who is absorbed in dreams, a vision of dreams is this against that, the likeness of one face before another. From an unclean thing, what can be done? And from something false, what can be true? Divinations and omens and dreams are folly, and fancies of the mind like those of a woman in travail, unless they are sent from the Most High as a warning. Do not pay any attention to them, for dreams have deceived many, and setting their hopes on them has led to their downfall. The law must be observed without any such falsehoods, and wisdom finds perfection in truthful lips. A well-taught man knows a great deal, and a man of experience will discourse with understanding. The man who has not been tested knows little, but the man who has wandered far gains greater ingenuity. I have seen much in my travels, and I understand more than I can describe. I have often been in danger of death, but I have been saved by these qualities. The spirit of those who fear the Lord will live, for their hope is in him who can save them. The man who fears the Lord will have no dread, and will not be afraid, for he is his hope. Happy is the soul of the man who fears the Lord. Whom does he regard? And who is his support? The eyes of the Lord rest on those who love him. The mighty shield, a strong support, a shelter from the hot wind and the noonday heat, a guard against stumbling, and a defense against falling. He lifts up the soul and gives light to the eyes, and bestows healing, life, and blessing. If a man offers sacrifice that was wrongly obtained, it is blemished, and the gifts of sinful men are not acceptable. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of ungodly men, and a man cannot atone for his sins with a great number of sacrifices. The man who offers a sacrifice from the property of the poor sacrifices a son before his father's eyes. Scanty fare is the living of the poor. The man who deprives them of it is a murderous man. The man who takes away his neighbor's living murders him. And the man who deprives a hired man of his wages is guilty of bloodshed. One man builds and another tears down. What do they gain but toil? One man prays and another curses. Which one's voice will the Lord listen to? If a man washes himself after touching a corpse and then touches it again, what good has his bath done him? That is the way with a man who fasts for his sins and goes and does the same thing over. Who will listen to his prayer? And what does he gain by humiliating himself? The man who keeps the law will make many offerings, and he who gives heed to the commandments will offer a thanksgiving sacrifice. The man who returns a kindness will offer a meal offering, and the man who gives to charity will offer the sacrifice of praise. Avoiding wickedness wins the Lord's approval, and avoiding wrongdoing is atonement. Do not appear before the Lord empty-handed, for all these things must be done because they are commanded. The offering of an upright man enriches the altar, and its fragrance reaches the Most High. The sacrifice of an upright man is acceptable, and the memory of it will not be forgotten. Glorify the Lord with a generous eye, and do not stint the first fruits of your hands. In all your giving, show a joyful face, and dedicate your tithes with gladness. Give to the Most High as He has given to you, with a generous eye, and as your hand has found. For the Lord is one who repays, and He will repay you 7 times over. Do not try to bribe Him, for He will not accept it. And do not rely on an ill-gotten sacrifice. For the Lord is a judge, and there is no partiality with Him. He will show no partiality against the poor, but He will listen to the prayer of the man who is wronged. He will not disregard the supplication of the orphan or the widow if she pours out her story. Do not the widow's tears run down her cheeks while she utters her complaint against the man who has caused them to fall. The man who serves God with good will is welcome, and his prayer reaches to the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierces the clouds, and until it reaches God, he will not be consoled. He will not leave off until the Most High considers him and does justice to the upright and passes judgment.